Tuesday, September the 9th, 9 p.m. in the DMV.
And 6 p.m. in LA. I'm Jack Armstrong.
And I'm Sam Giacinto, and you're listening to Tech Talk Live. Welcome to the show. You're always welcome to chat or call in with your tech news and lots to talk about, not even this week, but earlier today. This is all about Apple. They get their own show since they seem to be rather important. But a lot of new announcements today to talk about. Um, Regarding the iPhone, Apple Watch, and AirPods.
Absolutely. Super exciting. Yeah. What do we think about this? So, quite an Apple announcement today. We got quite a few new devices, including the iPhone 17 lineup. We got a bunch of phones, though. It's the first time we're seeing an iPhone Air. Can we believe it?
Well, yeah, let's dive into the iPhone Air. This is an interesting product for a lot of reasons, right? It's the thinnest iPhone ever produced. It uses a glossy titanium body, updated battery chemistry. It's a looker. I think this to me will be probably the most exciting to hold and interact with in the Apple store. I don't know if for me personally it's the right phone, but we'll have to see how it sells. So this is kind of replacing the iPhone Plus or the larger base model iPhone with sort of a thinner, lighter alternative. Um,
Oh,
and a
yeah.
lot of innovative technologies inside. I mean, we have the updated camera bump, to which they kind of span the entire width of the phone and kind of cram in a lot of supposedly components inside. There's a binned A19 Pro chip, so 5 GPU cores instead of 6. Um, and this is interesting. So one thing I noticed during the announcement is Apple advertised, I guess, and I'll have to look at this too. Their modem as the N1, but on their copy and in subsequent cuts, they call it the C1X. So I don't know if that was an error in video production, but that was kind of one thing I noticed. Um, I don't know. What do you think about the error? Are you going
Yeah, no. The A19 Pro chip and C1X is the modem. Essentially, super fast, really stunning battery life. They're still cramming a lot of juice to make your phone last all day. You know what strikes me with the iPhone Air? It's impressive. I don't know how well, I mean, I think we're so used to the Pro Max with the three cameras and this, and I feel like it's a nice option, but it's worth mentioning. You get one camera. You do. You get one camera. It is a 48 megapixel main camera, and they're calling it the Fusion main camera. And it's fully capable, but it is worth knowing you're not going to get the lenses. So, I mean, again, super cool, super thin, really durable. I would imagine with being titanium and the ceramic shield on the front and the titanium frame. But yeah, I don't know about that. I mean, I feel like for $1,000 starting price, I mean, we use our phones as our cameras. So I'm not saying this camera is not capable, but I'm just saying it's something to be aware of if you're considering a new iPhone this year. iPhone Air, one camera, I don't know if you have any other thoughts with the iPhone Air, Sam, but I think that might be a good segue into the 17 Pro Max and its camera redesign.
well,
But yeah, no,
you
the Air is impressive. I don't know
the
anything else about that.
thing. So again, with all the new iPhone models, including the 17, we get the center stage front camera. So this is sort of 50% more megapixel uh, in terms of output, but essentially a much larger sensor. And that kind of allows a cool sort of auto orientation. So you can take landscape selfies, in portrait mode because it actually crops what is being seen in the square sensor as opposed to having to rotate your phone sideways. Um, you can capture both the front and the back at the same time. There's stabilized video for when you're on FaceTime or perhaps are, filming yourself. It's so that's again a huge upgrade across the 17 lineup. But yeah, no, segueing into the 17 Pro Max. A lot of camera upgrades on the back. So let's just start with the cameras themselves, right? 48 megapixels across the board. So this is kind of funny because, well, starting at the 13 Pro, we had all 12 megapixel. Great. The 14 Pro had a 48 megapixel main camera. The 15 Pro, same deal. The 16 Pro offered a 48 megapixel ultra wide and main camera. So, okay, now we have 2 out of 3. And this year, for the first time, we have a 48 megapixel camera lineup across the board. So, telephoto, so those zoomed in shots, the main camera, and the ultra wide. So, finally, everything is on the same level. Um, Perhaps a unique modification to it all is we're going from 5 to 4x optical zoom. So that's the true optical zoom. Apple still offers a crop for the middle 12 megapixel to have an 8x zoom. But kind of stepping back a little bit as far as the raw number, 5x to 4x, but should honestly offer a better framing, um, a better way to frame your shots, essentially. And
Yeah.
I know you're really into audio visual production, and there could be, what do you think about the new camera array? Uh,
I think yeah, no, I think it's a great improvement. I feel like it surprises me a little that they moved the flash and lidar sensor to the other side. I feel like with the 16 Pro Max, you see them kind of all on that one little, I guess little camera hump. Now they've kind of widened it and stretched it out a little bit. I don't think it's a bad thing. I mean, light. It's not like they made the flash bigger though, so that's something that's interesting. They could have made it bigger because they moved it to the side. Um, Honestly, I think it's a good improvement. I like the lenses. I think they've been, working for years to perfect obviously the lenses in the iPhone, the Pro Max models. Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's really impressive. I think it's a good upgrade. I think it's a good upgrade. But of course, if you already have a new phone for the past couple of years, it's not going to be as noticeable as, I mean, it's still a phone camera. That doesn't mean it's not capable, but it's really brightening the sensor. And yeah, they put a lot of work into it. Uh, so yeah, I don't know. I feel like, Apple every couple of years they do a full redesign in terms of like, you know, so you buy the new phone because it looks different. So I think that's kind of a little bit what they're doing here. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but I'm just saying that if you are going for, from the 16 Pro Max to the 17 Pro Max, don't expect like a noticeable, uh, super noticeable difference because you still have a great phone.
well, and that's, again, looking again at last year's, iPhone side by side, I think as far as the cameras go, we really will just have to see. I'm sure in some scenarios, right, the telephoto upgrade will be vastly different. Um, but you know, again, it's an incremental upgrade. And you mentioned the design, which is sort of radically changed, honestly, for the first time since the iPhone 12 uh, Pro.
Yeah.
We have camera bar extending across the device. We have kind of reverted or advanced to an aluminum frame, depending on who you ask. There are some benefits to, aluminum as a material. One of which, Apple pointed out is the ability to dissipate heat. Titanium isn't exactly as thermally conductive as aluminum, right? So using the device itself as a heat sink is kind of a novel um, way of thinking about it. So to kind of go from they were very heavy on the marketing. Uh, let's be honest with the titanium, so it does kind of feel a little bait and switchy. But honestly, I mean, the iPhone was aluminum for a very long time, stainless steel for a moment. Um, it's I don't think it's a huge deal necessarily, but it is going to be a little softer as far as drop resistance and whatnot. It's not a bad thing for all intents and purposes. I mean, you'll be able to see damage, but it'll be able to absorb it well. Um,
Yeah.
so kind of a wash as far as the material is concerned. I mean, it doesn't sound as cool. Um, but honestly, I think aluminum's fine. It's a great metal. It,
Yeah.
kind of synchronizes with the vapor chamber technology, which I guess they're also kind of driving home, but essentially, using water within a cavity to evaporate and condense is kind of why it's, and that process dissipates a lot of heat. Um, so that's kind of, a huge advancement that synergizes with the aluminum. Um, again, we'll have to see how it performs. I mean, they claim 40% better sustained performance. I don't know what that means. I'm still looking for the footnote on that one. Um, but I don't know if you have any thoughts on the material change.
I mean, I'm definitely gonna miss the titanium. I feel like it's created a really durable phone. Um, you know, I do think thermal, especially when you're in the sun this summer, I mean, it's gonna. I know it's September, but still, like we're eventually it'll be summer, right? And you're gonna be in the heat, and it's getting hotter and hotter. And I do think there's a little truth to it. I do. I truly do think that. But then again, you go back to dropping your phone. I mean, it's kind of like take your pick here. Personally, more durable, slightly less thermal capabilities. I don't know. I mean, I don't think it's a huge problem though. Like if you're in the shade outside, not in direct sunlight or not charging your phone, is it really do you have to stop using your phone for your iPhone to cool down? Like is that a common thing like you're happening that's happening every day? I don't think so. Does your phone occasionally get hot? Yeah. But I don't think this is gonna magically stop that just because they switch back to aluminum. I personally wish it was still titanium. I think it's a better material. I think it's more durable. I haven't, been using a phone case and, I've taken really good care of it, but again, like, it just makes me wonder, like, have I dropped it? Not on concrete, but like, yeah, like small drops. But again, like aluminum is not as durable. So it worries me a little that they've created this unibody forged aluminum design. And I think it's great, ceramic shield, screen. I don't think you need a screen protector anymore. I mean, I don't think we've needed a screen protector for a long time. But yeah, I mean, personally, I do think, speaking of accessories for the 17 Pros, I think it's actually kind of I'm not really usually one to, like putting cases on, I just don't really think it's important, uh, for myself. I obviously know that most people use a case, but I do think it's cool they've got a custom technical woven fabric. I don't know if you saw this, but they've got multiple colored yarns coated and textured for a better grip. So they've been, I don't know if this is they're doing that for washability or sustainability, but yeah, kind of a cool looking case that also protects the camera bump. So obviously, I know cases are popular. Uh, and again, yeah, if you're gonna put a case on, I do think that they've developed a cool looking case. But have you seen the tech woven case? They also made a silicone
Oh,
case too.
well, so yeah, this replaces kind of their fine woven cases, which were notoriously they were bad. They weren't that great. So we'll have to see, how the material kind of holds up. Um, I mean, they look fine. I mean, it's, kind of a nylon weave of some sort. And you mentioned the crossbody strap.
Yeah,
That's also interesting. I don't really know the market for who will buy this $60 uh crossbody strap. Um, it's fine. I don't know like what sort of market research they did. Um, as
yeah,
far as why who really wanted this, but I don't know. I mean, I'm sure it's fine. I mean, I'm glad they offer it, I guess.
for
I
sure.
mean, would you use a crossbody strap? I'm not really like
I think it depends. I mean, even for like, yeah, biking or I don't know, yeah, how it appeals to people. I mean, if you're hiking, you'd put your phone away. You don't really want your phone bopping around. If you're standing, I mean, maybe at a concert or maybe if you're in line at an amusement park, those are like the only times I think this would be useful. Um, Silicone cases, also, again, this is kind of they just kind of get gross after a long time of using them. It's hard to clean them. So, I know that it's not a popular opinion to go without a case, but it is the most cleanly way to have your phone, and it's easy to clean with isopropyl alcohol, on like a tissue or paper towel or something. You spray a little, it gets all the oils and all the dirt off your phone. So I think it's a nice way to do it. But of course, you can't be dropping your phone without a case. So you got to be very careful. But if you're an adult, maybe you can not use a case. I don't know, here and there. So anyway, I feel like aluminum material, I'm a little disappointed it's not still titanium, but especially for the Pro Max, like we're paying a lot for these phones and they put it in the air. So I don't know. I'm a little upset with that. Also, again, like the air looks cool, but I'm sorry. One camera, I know it's capable, but still, like even the iPhone 17 has two. I think it's surprising to me they didn't put two. Like, I don't know how difficult it is or how much weight that's gonna add, but, I mean, I guess if you want a super light phone, okay, go with the iPhone 17 Air, but
yeah,
I
I
don't
don't know
think.
if they, decided on that, right?
Yeah,
I mean, it's, essentially I mean, it kind of reminds me of the iPhone XR in a lot of ways. I mean,
it's
they kind of
fine.
advertise it as 2 cameras in 1, uh, with a digital crop. That's kind of my latest pet peeve with Apple. Um, it's like it's not a second camera, it's just a digital crop of the first of like, the one camera. Um,
Yeah,
and then, they call it optical zoom as well, which is just it also really annoys the heck out of me. But it's not a
yeah,
2x optical zoom, it's a crop. I
yeah,
mean, it's not like I don't know, it's not a digital zoom. Like we're not making up data. which I guess is how they justify it.
But it's a little misleading in your opinion. You
No, I
believe.
mean, you're cropping the image. It's not there's no
Yeah,
optics that are occurring. A
yeah,
it's a digital crop. It's not a zoom, but it's a crop. And then they kind of try and say, "Oh, well, it's two cameras." And
yeah.
it's like, okay, well, I mean, not really. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. No, for sure, for sure. I don't know. I feel like, yeah, I'm not a fan of the Air. I would like to see it in person at an Apple store, though. But I don't know. I mean, is there really enough demand for a thin phone with one camera? I mean, look, I know for a fact that the past 2 years, the iPhone 15 and 16 Pro Max were the best selling phones. Like Apple, like people want the Pro Max. Like they're going to buy a phone to keep it for years. They're going to put a case on it. They're going to buy the best phone at the time with the best battery, best camera tech. Again, I think most people want the Pro Max. So, a little disappointed with the titanium switch. I guess enough people really been complaining about thermal overheating of their phones.
Well,
I mean, I guess.
I mean, this has been a problem for a while, but ever since the 12 Pro,
Yeah,
there's screen dimming outside. Um, I've
yeah,
experienced with the 13. I mean, it's an issue that Apple's never really truly advertised fixing. So I'm really hoping this could solve the screen dimming problem, because it's not a matter of like you can't use your phone, it's that it artificially limits the maximum brightness. So outside, this is very annoying because you can't see your phone, but it's not unusable. It's just
yeah.
temporarily dimming the screen. Um, so that's kind of I and that's what I hope um, you know, happens, at least with the, you know, vapor chamber, and the aluminum frame I think will be helpful in that regard. The titanium definitely didn't help that. Um, it's a very durable and rigid material, but it's not very thermally conductive. So at
Yeah,
the end of the day, if you're trying to dissipate heat, you don't have a
that's
titanium
true.
heat sink. Um, you have a copper or aluminum heat sink. So that's kind of something where, I'm kind of indifferent. I mean, yeah, titanium's great, and it's more expensive. It's a more premium material. It sounds cooler. Um, but if aluminum is not a bad material. I mean, there's a reason why it's so widely used um in the industry.
Yeah,
So for me, it's like, you know, I mean, I could care less. I know some people will care.
yeah.
Uh,
I think
but
it's a little disappointing. Like, I don't know if it's not gonna break people from upgrading and stop that. They're not holding out for next year's titanium Pro Maxes, but I don't know. It was a nice little. I mean, I thought we were onto something that they're going to be making the top of the line phones with titanium, and now they just stopped doing it. So, and also titanium is lighter than aluminum, right?
I believe
It's strong. It's stronger and more durable. I think it's a little softer than aluminum. I guess I don't know. It's
uh,
aluminum.
titanium is much more rigid and
Yeah.
hard. It is a little heavier.
Oh, it's heavier. Yeah.
I guess it seems to be around double the weight. Let's see. I'm looking for density here.
Yeah. Okay.
But I
Well, I
mean,
take it back.
just kind of like
Shows shows you what
it
I
has
know.
relatively low density. It's good corrosion resistance. It's very stiff and it's very strong. Aluminum is light and robust, so that means it has a little bit of plasticity. It's not, as brittle. It's great at conducting heat, and it's also significantly cheaper. I mean, it's about a third of the price.
Yeah.
So, it's about half the density of titanium, which, I guess go to stainless steel here.
Okay. Yeah. I don't
Stainless
know.
Steel double the density of titanium. So to kind of give you an idea, it's like if aluminum was a factor of one, titanium would be a factor of two, stainless steel would be a factor of four. Um, so that's kind of, so switching from steel to titanium made the Pro phones, a little lighter. But hopefully, and then this will be kind of interesting, but I'm going to compare the weight of several different iPhones here.
I'm still
Yep.
just upset. I feel like it makes them cheap. Do they feel cheap? I think, gosh, I'd love to have a longer conversation about this with other people and
Well,
like,
I think until the iPhone 10, all iPhones were aluminum. It wasn't even like aerospace grade aluminum. Do we, remember the good old,
yeah, you're
um,
right. You have a
let's
point. I know.
let's go. So we'll do, so the 8 Plus, for example, was the last large aluminum iPhone, and we'll do the 14 Pro Max because that was actually the last stainless steel iPhone.
Damn.
So just comparing the weights of these. Um, so the iPhone 8 was 202 grams. The iPhone 14 Pro Max, 240 grams. And the biggest thing for me is despite all of, the tweak in material, the iPhone 17 Pro Max is 233 grams. So it's
Yeah.
not significantly lighter than the stainless steel, the big porky, um, really all the weights of the phones are more or less within like 10% of each other, even with the titanium. From the
Yeah.
stainless steel to the titanium, we lost 19 grams, or that's about 10%. So it was 10% lighter. And then we've kind of
Wow.
gained 5% back with the 17 Pro Max. So there's just a
Yeah.
lot more equipment inside that is making up for the weight savings. But I think the material most people won't notice. And honestly, they put a case on it anyway, right? You're not even feeling with, or interacting with the material half the time. Um, so I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess this is the way going back to the old days, but to me it seems like a step in the wrong direction. They titanium seemed like a better fit, but I guess everything has its pros and cons, so it's fascinating. So, well, that being said, we also have new Apple Watch and AirPods Pro 3 with better active noise cancellation and a heart rate sensor in your
Let's
ear.
talk about those AirPods. So
Yeah.
a lot of big claims, notably twice the noise cancellation of the previous AirPod Pro 2s. And for the first time, I guess they're advertising the sort of hearing aid functionality, as a feature.
Yes.
And, we're also getting a new, I guess, heart rate sensing. They kind of glossed over that part. As far as I don't really, I guess there's built-in LEDs that, essentially measure your heart rate through the tissue in your ear. I don't know how accurate slash useful this will be with Most
Uh-huh.
people who work out have an Apple Watch. I don't know if this is a stand-in replacement for that. It says incredibly accurate, so we'll just have to see how that turns out. But we have built-in LEDs now for heart rate monitoring and audio improvements all around. We'll have to check in on the noise cancellation claim, twice as good as the Pro 2s, which were twice as good as the Pro 1s. So
Mm.
they're saying, this is going to be 4 times more active noise cancellation than the original AirPod Pros and 4 times more than the AirPods 4 with active noise cancellation. So, you know, I guess, and world so
The
they
big
prefer
claim. Big
situation
claim.
2025 in
Yeah.
accordance with EC 6028-2 60268-24. So, I always like
Ah,
reading the notes for Apple things because it, kind of but I guess it's a standard for noise canceling headphones.
is it?
Uh,
Yeah. Damn.
you can you can purchase it for $180 if you want to buy a document. But anyway, we'll just have to take their word for it for now. Um, I thought one part that was sort of funny, and you may have saw this too, is I'm curious how much of the benefit of the new AirPods comes from the fact that they've filled the ear cups with foam. It's no
Small
longer
change. Yeah.
an empty space. There's
It's
foam in there.
yeah.
So that's cool. I just wonder, how much of the improved noise cancellation is because of foam.
I
I
don't
mean, seriously,
know. Yeah, I
because like,
wonder I don't know. It must be a lot though. I mean, again, small changes like this can make a difference. So, yeah, I mean, I think that's great, right? That's cool. Mhm.
well, I mean, I hope so. I mean, it's definitely a good optimization. Again, I mean, we're supposedly also, getting 33% more battery life as well. So functionally, maybe an increased amount of battery. Um, you know,
Yeah.
um, so again, a laundry list of upgrades um to the AirPod Pros, which I think are one of the more popular AirPod models. But again, we'll just have to sort of see. Um, you know, Obviously, the more features you enable, including noise cancellation. If you enable spatial audio, you give up half an hour of battery life. If you enable heart rate sensing, you give up an additional hour of battery life. So you go from 8 hours to 6.5 hours of listening time. So the more you use, um, the more battery. I mean, so is
Hmm.
physics, right?
Yeah.
Um, but you also mentioned the Apple Watches.
Yeah. Absolutely. So yeah, we've got an Ultra 3. So some new improvements there and the Apple Watch SE3. So big changes. Also, it's notable for $250. This is the Apple Watch SE. So price sounds pretty appealing. Again, available for pre-order starting on Friday, or excuse me, actually the 19th for the Apple Watch. My bad. The iPhones are on Friday, but the Apple Watch will be on the 19th of September for the Apple Watch SE. Yeah, it's interesting. They have a lot of new uh, improvements. I feel like really it sounded like cellular. They upgraded the modem as well, so you're going to have less when your phone is not near your watch. Less battery drain from the cellular models. How they achieve this, It's fascinating. I feel like a more efficient antenna and 5G modem. So 5G has gotten, I guess, a I don't want to say a bad reputation, but 5G means a lot of different things, as we know. Whether it's millimeter wave 5G, ultra wideband. We also have, um, yeah, I feel like to AT&T to Verizon, T-Mobile, they mean different things. However, they claim better reception, better coverage in areas with weak reception. So, do we know how they achieve this improvement? It's
Yeah,
strange to
no,
me.
I mean, the big part of this, right? So the main changes of the SE3 over the SE2 is we have the S10 system in package, right? So from the Series 10, that's now part of the SE3. So with that, we get the always on display, we get double the storage, and we get 5G connectivity from the SE2 to the SE3. So that's kind of the main, in a sentence, what's different. It's a very compelling option, especially compared to the Series 11, which is, $150 more. Um, there's not, again, like, kind of going through the differences um, between the two. Um, the display is a little dimmer on the SE. You don't have an EKG or blood oxygen on the SE3, but other than some like water, swimming capabilities, I mean that's the summary of difference between these two watches. I mean, there's minor display differences. They both have the same system and package. The
Yeah.
only technical difference is the ultra wideband chip for precise location. They have the same amount of storage, the same processor, and it's quite literally, I mean, it's a very compelling option for the budget. A huge upgrade for the SE, honestly. Um, so
Yeah.
if you've been on the fence about an Apple Watch, I think an SE3 is a great introduction to it and a very compelling, you know, budget budget smartwatch.
Yeah.
But I'll
Yeah,
also
no, absolutely.
um, you know, consider, honestly just getting a used Ultra or a used Ultra 2. I mean, you can have a used Ultra for maybe $300 now. I mean, it's been out for a while. But you get a lot of I mean, you get a lot of the same features, if not more.
For
Um,
better battery life, I think is the biggest difference. It's really worth noting, that with the Ultra, you're gonna be charging less, and it's gonna last longer if you go from fitness settings to dinner settings, morning settings. It's really I think more people should be thinking about that, you know? I don't think people are really remembering. I've had the Ultra One, and I remember it was a night and day difference, battery life. And again, like if that's not important to you, and you're okay putting your watch on a charger maybe during a workout, no big deal. That's great. But again, if it's something you don't really want to think about, probably better, yeah, to go with a used Ultra 2. I know they claim the Watch SE, battery life. Again, I think their claims are a little over estimating. I feel like I don't know. Again, I personally don't believe 18 up to 18 hours of use with a full charge. Again, that's the Apple Watch SE. Don't really think that's uh, I don't know. I just compared to the Ultra, I don't know, Sam. Do you agree with that? Like, do you really think these SE claims 18 hours? Is it really as good? Is Are they really trying to compete with the Ultra 3 like that?
well, it's a complete, I mean, the Ultra 3 is gonna be, 3 times the cost, essentially. So it's a different product class, for people who want the absolute best, um, that's what your ultra, as far as the price point, etc. Um, you know, the ultra is for, people who want the best. So naturally, you know, I would say like the
Yeah.
closest competitor in terms of price and uh, you know, kind of what you can also buy for $250, is a Series 10 or original Ultra. And honestly, the original Ultra offers a lot of the same features. You know, again, it looks different, but honestly offers more or less like double the battery life, um, for probably around the same price at this point. Since it's quote unquote, um, you know, 3 years old. But honestly, looking at the Ultra and the Ultra 3 side by side, the Ultra to the Ultra 2, not a ton changed. Honestly, we're still, between the Ultra and the Ultra 3 and Ultra 2, they're all, I mean, there are very, very subtle changes between the Ultra 2 and the Ultra 3. And there were very, very subtle changes between the Ultra and the Ultra 2. So, I think buying an original used Ultra is a great way to get well over half of what the Ultra 3 offers without, if you don't need the satellite connectivity, I mean, honestly, it's pretty dang close as far as what you, you know, what you really get. Um, I mean, you get 5G connectivity. I mean, that's great, but honestly, when are you consuming rich multimedia content on your watch? Right? I mean, it's just like you're not going to be watching a video or streaming 4K content. Like the need for 5G, like it's nice to have, but I think of all the devices you could want it on, the Apple Watch is probably the one you at least care about just because you're not you're not really doing much with it. I mean, on from, what do you need that versus LTE for on your watch,
Yeah.
right?
Oh yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Do you stream Netflix on your watch?
You're
Uh,
not. Yeah, no, exactly. It's nice to have the cellular if that's important to you as an option and you want to pay for a plan for it. Go right ahead. It's nice to have that if you do enjoy leaving your phone. It's a nice extension of your phone, and it's nice to know now you're going to get better reception and battery life because of battery antennas. But again, I agree. You're not really streaming from your watch only most of the time. Uh, yeah, I don't know. And if you are, I mean, it is cool to know you could. You could take your watch and AirPods and go with your cellular connection streaming music on your watch. And that is a cool experience, if that's important to you. But again, probably not going to be downloading, saving music to your watch. But again, I think we come from like the iPod Shuffle, right? Remember that device that was little clipped on earbuds
yeah.
and was kind of like
Yeah.
40 iPod music player, right? For now, the watch has really kind of done itself in that way. So now it's just wear the Apple Watch. That is your music player, and then wireless is all the rage these days. So again, you're probably not streaming regularly on your phone like that or on your watch like that without your phone nearby, but nice to know they're always making improvements to that if that's what you like.
Well, and obviously, like incremental upgrades are great because one day when you do decide to purchase an Apple product, it makes all the options cheaper. I mean, again, like you have people who want the latest and greatest, but you also, it's like if you don't particularly care, you can get into the Apple ecosystem with a lot of like, the planned obsolescence can work in your favor. I mean, you can still get very compelling product for, not a ton of money. I mean, I honestly like,
Yeah.
looking
Yeah.
up on eBay, the Apple Watch Ultra 1, um, I mean, we have yeah, I mean, there's buy it now for under $300 now. Or
Yeah.
you're free to bid on, ones that are a bit lower. So for $300, I mean, you're getting something that is quite literally, way more than half of what costs $800 from Apple, right? So I still think, I mean, I think the whole thing where it's like, Apple, at least I think, if you're a little bit smart about it, it's not just, you don't have to buy it new directly from Apple and directly, like, you can be a little smart about it, um, and get really great products for not a ton of money. I mean, you just have to be willing to kind of hunt around a little bit for it. Um, and you can still, I mean,
Yeah.
again, I mean, some for 275. I mean, here's one that's basically new in the
A good
box.
good watch. Yeah, good plan. Good
No, but
idea. That's a good tip.
something to think
No, you
about, you know.
yeah, absolutely.
Let's see what else did Apple release today? Did we really I guess it's been 50 minutes. I get animated talking about Apple stuff.
No, I think that was, most of it. That was most of it. We got the new watch, the new AirPods, iPhone 17, 17 Air, and 17 Pro and Pro Max, so that's a lineup with iPhones.
Well, and we
Uh,
don't have to talk about the 7. I mean, the iPhone 17, it's the same. I mean, they added promotion, it's like you get
do people buy
free
this?
right
Do
now.
people? Yeah, it's a good option. It's a
I
good
mean,
option.
it's good if you're, upgrading from your carrier and that's what they offer. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's like
Yeah,
it gets a little bit better, you know. That's good, I guess.
a little.
I'm also over all this ceramic shield bull crap. I mean, honestly, like, I don't know.
What
I
irritates you most about that?
I mean, it's glass. I mean, it's functionally like, because the way, you know, at least how the Mohs hardness scale works is that each step up in the scale is 10x the hardness. So when your screen scratches, it's not, it doesn't need to just be, it's still going to scratch with, it's, I mean, it'll resist more things, but when they say, "Oh, it's 3 times more resistant to scratching," it's like, I mean, I'm not gonna say no to that, but also,
You don't
you
wanna
know,
find out.
I mean, like a grain of sand, for example, is always going to, like, silica is always, or like,
Yeah.
or, things are always gonna be scratching the screen. I mean, I can't fault them for making it more durable. Like, that's great, but it's like, I'm just kind of over the whole, like, it's Ceramic Shield 3 Pro Max. I mean, it's like, okay, like, I would honestly be more interested in, like, how they produce it more so than whatever marketing, I mean, I don't know, because it's like, my 13 Pro has Ceramic Shield 1, and then the 17 Pro has Ceramic Shield 2, whatever that means. So,
Well,
I
and you're
mean,
not really noticing this. I mean, but again, are you testing it? No, we shouldn't be intentionally scratching. But
well,
it's
I mean,
nice to know it's
my
a little
3
more
does
durable.
though. I mean, that's like, I don't know, like, I can look at it. I mean, it's just like, yeah, it's my fault for not buying screen protectors, but it's just like, like, it's just, they're just a pain. I mean, it's just like,
Use that, yeah.
I mean, I guess until they make the thing out of sapphire, I mean, I found that the sapphire screen on the Apple Watch is great because it's actually hard, like, it's actually measurably harder than glass. But they'll never, I mean, a sapphire crystal the size of an iPhone screen would be,
Yeah.
in, not feasible. So for now, we sort of get whatever, nano textured particle, I don't know, whatever they want to call it, um, ceramic shield, and that's
Yep.
fine. I mean, it's like whatever. You know, I mean, I don't particularly like. I don't know how you feel about ceramic shield, but I'm just kind of tired of hearing it at this point. Like,
Well, it's I see why. I feel like with the ceramic shield branding, they want to do. I mean, look, other brands they'll be what we've got Gorilla Glass, right? Because that was kind of the standard before, and Apple likes to try to be different. So I don't
well,
know. I don't really
and
feel like it's. I agree with
it's,
you.
well, even like Gorilla Glass, right? It's like, oh, it's so strong, a gorilla could smash it. I guess I don't even know, like
Yeah,
it's just stuff they make up. It's just like it just has to sound cool, but it's like, I mean, it's 3 times better scratch resistance asterisk compared with previous generation iPhone. It doesn't even
yeah.
say compared with the 16. It's just the previous generation.
The
Like, I
previous
don't know if they
generation.
bother, like, they don't even want to bother changing their disclaimer anymore. They just sort of say, and who that like compared how? I mean, who like they just throw it at a wall a few times and like count the number of scratches? I mean,
Yeah,
there's just no rhyme or reason. I don't know. It's just they can basically just say whatever they want, put an asterisk in front of it. I mean, who knows? I don't know.
it's true. It's true. Well, yeah, exciting updates from Apple. Very interesting to see what they've announced today. I feel like lots of improvements, and yeah, if you're in the market for a new iPhone, I guess you now have to think about if you want the Air as an option. So that's cool.
Well,
Exactly as we thought.
I thought about it and I don't want it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's I don't I'm also curious how well it will sell. I mean, it's
Yeah.
nice. I mean, I mean, they carted out the whole they had the fake Johnny Ive talking about it. I mean, they were really pulling all the stops, right? They had some, British Indian guy with an accent who sounded kind of like Johnny Ive. It was like it was very like I'm like, okay, like I see what they're doing here.
Yeah.
Um, I'm surprised they didn't find somebody who worked at Apple named Johnny. Um, my car alarm goes off. Um, So I'm surprised they didn't find someone named Johnny, for it, but it'll be it'll be interesting to see. I don't know who's going to buy the Air. I'm definitely gonna go to hold
Check
it.
it out.
I'm curious about it.
Yeah.
It's thin. I mean, it looks cool. I don't know, but I don't know who it's for.
Who knows? Yeah. Well, again, kind of like your entry, your mid, your high tier. Maybe people that don't want the best, but don't want the lower, just boring iPhone 17. It's a nice option. It looks sleeker. It does look better than the iPhone 17. So they're probably going for that market. People that don't really want the 17, but don't want the Pro Max or don't want the Pro, don't need that power, don't want the 3 cameras, want something simple. You know, Because yeah, I mean, maybe there are people that think the 3 camera iPhones look kind of silly. Maybe there are people that are like, "Oh, why do they make them with 3 cameras?" I mean, I don't know. Again, it's nice to have the wide lens, but again, if you want a thin, light phone, you don't care about the camera, needing the telephoto, needing the optical lenses, then it's a powerful camera, I guess. Still, it's still a modern phone they're selling in 2025. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah.
But we'll have more updates in the tech space next week. Tuesday, we're middle of September. Yeah, we'll be back on the 16th
Let's
with
see. Oh,
more
more
tech news.
white. Okay, so the iPhones ship on the 18th, I think. So we'll have to do
Oh,
a revisit once you get your hands on one.
I will try to pre-order one maybe this Friday. see what's up. I do intend to buy one. That's the plan. So I plan to get the 17 Pro Max. Probably not that orange color, but we'll see. I'll update maybe next Tuesday, and we'll have more tech news. We plan to revisit some helium news and the Rabbit R1's operating system, second operating system that just came out yesterday. We might chat about that. Not really sure. Rabbit's doing some cool stuff. So yeah,
Yeah, we'll have a few revisited episodes. And yeah, honestly, it'll be interesting to kind of see, I think we should do some more revisiteds as time goes on. We have pretty much over a year's worth of episode history we can kind of go back upon um to kind of revise our judgment on that.
absolutely. So yeah, we'll do that. We'll update. More updates to come. We're here every Tuesday, wherever you get your podcast, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern for our live show. And visit us on the web at techtalklive.xyz. Join the conversation on X at tech_talk_live. Thanks for listening. We always appreciate it. Chime in. And yeah, we're back every Tuesday.